Hello, this is the Irish Extra, and oh, lads, remember a year ago when I dared to say that Nottingham Forest would not qualify for the Champions League? And you all responded to that as if I said that I think you all look like you, I don't know, eat cats in the bath. Like, you all thought I was saying something horrific that you all got offended by, calling me a Forest hater because I was tipping you to lose most weeks. Yeah, not only the Forest trickle down the table, right now, you're going down. Okay, I said a few days ago that I didn't think anyone was going down this season. Well, no. I said I didn't know who was going down this season. Obviously, there's going to be 3 teams to go down. Obviously, Burnley and Wolves are 2 of them. I didn't know who the other third team was, and I thought whoever does go down, it's going to be really unfortunate and unlucky to go down because everyone's been playing well. In that little group of Leeds, Forest, and West Ham, they all look assured of staying up. Yeah. Now you've just gone and sacked Sean Dyche, somebody who was the literal epitome of a relegation firefighter. There's no one in the Premier League, in the whole of the 20 current managers, not a single one of them are as experienced at surviving relegation dogfights. This is the firefighter. This is the guy you bring in a February to keep a team up. Just ask Everton. He's an unglamorous, unfashionable, big panda bear of a manager. I mean, it's never stylish or nice having Dyche in the dugout. It's kind of a necessary evil. And I knew Marinakis was never happy with trying to get him in because he was fully on another planet in terms of his ambition with Forest. He wanted to move away from Nuno Santo's primitive and ugly football to try and bring in Big Ange, a Greek manager. Okay, not actually. I mean, he's Australian, but for the purposes of Marinakis, he pretended that he was fully Greek. That's why he gave an award for being the first Greek to win the Europa League. And then brings him into Forest and he wants to make Forest more dynamic, to try and play the expansive Barcelona brand of football, and to really show off their skills and flourish in Europe. That's what Marinakis wanted, okay? He knew that his club now were on a big boy pedestal in the Europa League, having stolen Crystal Palace's spot, and so wanted, I think he'd have been embarrassed if Forest continues to play Nuno Santo football in the Europa League, because he wants Forest to be seen as one of the most attractive clubs in the world, right? That's his ultimate goal. His ambition is very, very high. Unrealistically high, I would say, but still it's very high, and that's what he wanted. So he was happy to bin off Santo. Also, Santo did not help himself by basically admitting the two were not friends. Then the Big Ange experiment didn't work, and so he brings in Dyche to go back to the Santo football. And honestly, those poor Forest players must have an absolute whiplash. I mean, remember for that month of Big Ange, and you had the likes of Chris Wood coming out there and saying, oh no, we're moving away and trying a different brand of football. We're evolving as a team. And then Dyche comes in and it's back to square one. But look, when you bring in Sean Dyche, you have to stick with him for the whole season. It's a necessary evil. Yeah, he'll play a brand of football that's uglier than, I don't know, being asked to kiss a goose. It's dreadful. It's horrific brand of football. It's the modern day Big Sam stuff. But you don't bring him in and then bin him off 2 days before Valentine's Day. It'd be like if Everton, when the Ronald Koeman thing went up in flames, if they, brought in Big Sam, which none of the fans wanted. I mean, when he was hired, there was a survey, and all of them said they were kind of embarrassed to have this sloppy, greasy ogre at the wheel. But do you know what would have been worse? If you had sacked Big Sam around this time, in the middle of a relegation dogfight, and had to bring in suddenly someone else. The Toffees could have gone down. I mean, it would have been a stupid risk, a bit like when I said yesterday that Tottenham bringing in Roberto De Zerbi now would be a risk when you are perched on the edge of a volcano. Literally, Tottenham are having a picnic on the edge of the relegation zone. They could get sucked into the dogfight. Forest are already well and truly in it. But I never thought they'd go down under Dyche. Never. Because he knows what he's doing. To sack him after a 0-0 draw. Do you know who he is? And you know who it's going to be, by the way? It's going to be Vitor Pereira. The guy who was sacked by Wolves, the worst team in the league, and who might yet become the worst team in Premier League history. I mean, I know they only need 3 more points to beat Derby County's awful record, but that's not guaranteed. They're running out of games. And he's got his fingerprints all over that mess, having failed to win the first 10 matches of the season. That was an even worse run than Big Ange. And you want to bring him in because Marinakis worked with him at Olympiacos? It's crazy. It's nuts and it's insane. Let's look at the shortlist, okay? And look at the other managers who are linked with the job. Thomas Frank. Thomas Frank is the second favourite to take the Forest job. Look, I mean, if you told me last summer that Nottingham Forest could get their hands on Thomas Frank, I'd say, bite his hand off. He'd be a quality appointment and not too far removed from the Santo and Dyche football either. But, I mean, it is literally just the day after his Tottenham sack, and Forest have already tried to bring in a recently sacked Spurs boss once this season. Didn't work with Big Ange, because clearly he needed longer out of the game to lick his wounds. And, I mean, at least Big Ange had a summer. Frank's had a day. He's had a day, okay? Right now, he's probably crying into his Arsenal mug. Like, I don't think he should jump back in with a rebound fling this quick. It would be kind of nuts. I mean, Spurs was his big chance. His chance of coaching a big, massive club, and he kind of blew it. So I think right now he's probably quite sad. And, yeah, just give him a few months to sort of cry on the beach, maybe. Jumping straight back into a team lower down in the league than Spurs, I think that would be a mistake. Good manager. He is a good manager, and normally he'd be a great pick for Nottingham Forest. It'd be a coup, but it's literally, 12 hours after he lost his job? No. By the way, isn't it really so weird how this is the season where big Ange Postecoglou, his 3 successors have all lost their job this season. Brendan Rodgers at Celtic, Thomas Frank at Tottenham, and now, the very next day, it's Sean Dyche. That's kind of like a curse, really. All I'll say is, Kevin Muscat, watch your back. Third favourite is Pochettino. I don't know why he's the third favourite. Do you think he's going to walk out on a home soil World Cup as manager of America for a doomed relegation scrap with Forest? Ridiculous. Get him off this list. There's no chance that he would ditch the USA now to work for some megalomaniac crazy person, the evil Hagrid. No. Next up is Roberto De Zerbi. Again, he's a hothead. It would be a mess. It'd be another Big Ange, because he plays an even more crazy and complicated and convoluted brand of attacking football than Big Ange does. It's more the same, where defenders go flying up the pitch, and basically it's the last thing you want to do in a relegation scrap. I mean, it'd be hilarious to go from Santo to Big Ange to Dyche to De Zerbi. It would be a great case of symmetry, because you're making the same mistake twice. And this would be even worse, because De Zerbi's an even more divisive and combative personality than even Postecoglou. And Postecoglou is no slouch when it comes to that. So De Zerbi would be, it would be disaster. It would actually be the worst choice in the list. Next after him is Robbie Keane, only because he played for Wolves. That's literally it. He's also getting outside links to the Tottenham job. If you forget who he is, if you forget the name Robbie Keane, he is the manager of Ferencváros in Hungary. Okay, if he wasn't a famous face, if he wasn't a Premier League legend and Ireland legend, there's no way he'd be getting into the job. It'd be like when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got the Man United job, only based on the strength of his name. Because if you really thought about it, he was the manager of Molde in Norway. Anyone else at that club does not come with even a sniff of a Premier League job. Same for Keane. Funnily enough, next on the list is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. That'll be a nightmare pick. He'd send you down. Next up was Craig Bellamy. Again, a complete non-starter, because he's not going to leave his dream Wales job for a club he never even played for. Like, Nottingham Forest mean absolutely nothing to Craig Bellamy. Next up was Ruben Amorim. There's no chance he signs up for relegation battle. No chance. Complete non-starter. Why is he even on this list? It would be nuts. It'd be absolutely insane. He's holding out for a top job in, like, probably a Champions League job at some point. Maybe something like Benfica when Jose goes, or something to rebuild his career. He's not going to jump in. He's not going to become anyone's 4th manager of the season. It's nuts. Next was Frank Lampard. Look, I know Coventry are wobbling in the Championship, but again, no, I don't think he does what Rob Edwards does. Let's put it like that. I don't think he leaves almost a sure thing, a promotion to get relegated with a club he's not got no connection to. It doesn't make any sense. At least Edwards played for Wolves. Lampard and Forest, they mean nothing to each other. I don't know why he's on the shortlist. Next is Roberto Martinez. Again, same thing. He's not going to ditch the chance to have a crack at winning the World Cup with Portugal for this. Like, use your head. Whoever puts these people on the shortlist, it's nuts. Like, is he really gonna... Like, you see the way this former Wigan coach sucks up to Cristiano Ronaldo. No chance does he burn that in a bin to come in and, I don't know, become bestie mates with Chris Wood. It's a non-starter. And also, it would be a massive risk. You know, bringing in a manager who hasn't worked a single week in club football in 10 years. It would be gloomily ridiculous. Eric Ten Hag is up next. You know what? He should be higher in the list, because he actually wouldn't be the worst shout. He can also play a primitive-ish style of football. He definitely did that at Man United. Nothing like the stylish, slick stuff he did at Ajax. He can kind of do both brands of football. So That actually wouldn't be a bad decision. I think, yeah, bring in Ten Hag, try and replicate the Dyche stuff, get you over the line, and then maybe in the summer, with a do on board as well, bringing in the right signings, he can maybe try and turn Forest, if they survive, into a mini Ajax. Maybe. But then again, he hasn't shown anything close to that sort of slick Cruyff-esque football since his time in Holland, so maybe not. But I actually think he's a bit of a Jekyll and Hyde character. He can do it. He can do both brands of football. I don't think he'd be the worst shout, actually. I don't. Next up is Gareth Southgate. Nope. That would be another risk. Bringing in a manager who hasn't coached in club football in 17 years? Nuts. That's ridiculous. Steve Cooper's up next. I don't think he'd agree to come back to work for Marinakis. And again, you sacked him for a reason. And he's probably still reeling after his hideous work at Leicester City in last season's relegation battle. No, not him. Jose Bordalas. I'm embarrassed to say I don't know who that is. Who? All right, next up, Enzo Maresca. No chance is his next job going to be in a relegation dogfight, because considering he's, current reigning champion of the world, sort of, very much a sort of, but he is technically, so there's no chance of that. Paulo Fonseca up next again. No, I mean I think he's going to show loyalty to Leon, considering they stood by him when he was banned and suspended for 9 months after headbutting a ref. Like, he's only just come back into the dugout, so I think there's no chance he runs away 4 months later for Nottingham Forest. Next up, Cesc Fabregas. Fabregas. Oh, I'd love to see Marinakis pick up the phone and think he can bring him in. Yeah, all right, okay. Maybe Forest should be able to seduce the boss of Como, but not when it's literally like the biggest hotshot young manager in the world. Him and Alonso. It would be nuts. It'd be one way to burn your potential in a bin, to come in and get relegated with Nottingham Forest. To be nuts. Scott Parker's next up. Look, Scott Parker is actually a manager that would suit Nottingham Forest. I think he's got enough relegations on his watch now for Forest to steer clear, and I think Burnley would be a bit embarrassed. I mean, I've seen this before. I mean, I've seen Owen Coyle leave Burnley in the middle of a relegation dogfight for a very sideways step to Bolton, but I mean, at least he was like a mini Reebok legend. Parker's got no connection to Forest, and I mean, he'd probably jump at the chance if Forest were serious about bringing him in, but again, for the long, nah. I mean, what's the point of sacking Sean Dyche? Sean Dyche is a much better version of Scott Parker. Sean Dyche is everything Scott Parker wishes he was. Oliver Glasner's next up. Yeah, okay. The guy who's got options on the table. The guy who not too long ago had Bayern Munich courting his signature. The guy who's on Man United shortlist. Oh yeah, he's told Chris Palace he's going to leave in the summer, but oh no, instead of being a free agent where he's going to have a lot of big clubs coming to the table unless he really screws it up in his last few months at Selhurst Park. Oh yeah, he's gonna sidestep that luxurious summer of free agency to maybe get relegated with Forest. Nuts, stupid. And then the last one on the list is Brendan Rodgers. I love Brendan Rodgers as a manager, but again, it'd be more of a big Ange thing. They're very similar managers. I mean, of course they are. They both replaced each other at Celtic. He plays a nice brand of football, which, when it clicks, it can be devastating. Like Leicester winning games 9-0 in the Premier League. But he's someone you have to bring in the summer. Maybe in the summer, Forest stay up. Yeah, maybe go in and poach him from Al Qadja. Probably have to offer him a lot of money to get him out of there. But still, yeah, that's a summer appointment maybe. But right now you need a firefighter, and I'm gonna recommend the same person to you that I recommended to Spurs. Go out there and get Rafa Benitez out of Panathinaikos. Okay, he can come in, play defensive football. He's experienced. He's been in a relegation dogfight before. And yes, he technically failed at Newcastle, but he did improve our fortunes. We were very unlucky to go down because our springtime form in April and May was really, really good. Really good. We smashed Spurs 5-1. So, yeah, I'm going to say the same thing to Forest, and I said to Spurs, go out there and get Rafa Benitez. But again, it's just trying to make the best of a bad situation, because I think sacking Sean Dyche just proves this club is a cartoon club. And I think sacking Sean Dyche means that, yes, and especially when you bring in Vita Pereira, then yeah, you might as well get that little pig in front of the camera to say, that's all, folks. Okay, I haven't watched Looney Tunes in 10 years. I don't know I don't know what the pig says. Anyway, that's the end of it. Let me know. What do you think? Let me know. How do you repair Nottingham Forest? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to collect your ways. I'll waffle you in a while.